Tell me, though, about the impact of your interview with that Israeli television journalist, because I think that was a pivotal moment, because that was captured. People in Israel could hear your desperation telling this man, and he had developed a relationship with you, that 3 of your daughters were killed along with their cousin, and your other daughter was seriously injured.
Yeah, this call, it was a moment of moral courage when he opened the speaker to let all of the world to see what is happening in Gaza.
Did you ask him to put your interview live on air?
No.
He'd made that decision.
I called him first, and he didn't respond because he was sitting there. So I left him a voice message. And then he said to me later, I listened to the voice message. I heard your screams and the crying. So I called you and I told the people there in the studio, something wrong with Dr. Abuelaish, that we are waiting for him in the studio. And when he connected with me and listened to me, he opened the speaker, unconscious. He did it.
And what was the reaction of the Israelis who were listening to that interview?
It opened the eyes of the Israelis, the international community, the Palestinians everywhere. The question, what are we doing? Where are we going? We are not going in the right way. We are killing innocent civilians because the war in Gaza was secret. No one knows about it. It was by night.
Because journalists, a lot of the international journalists were
no
not
one
allowed.
is allowed. So this came to disclose the secret and to open the eyes, not to be deceived. We see this doctor, we know him. We know his daughters. And it opened their eyes. And the second day, when Ehud Olmert saw what happened,
the Prime Minister at the time, yes, yeah.
Ceasefire started.
That was just a day after your daughters were killed. Because it is believed that the impact of what happened to your children, but you speaking live to this journalist had an impact.
So it made a difference, and that's important. We need to sacrifice, but not for waste, for nothing. We are doing our efforts to get something. And this satisfied me that the blood of my daughters is not futile. It made a difference. And to open the eyes of everyone to wake up.
But the Israelis claim that the reason why they attacked your house was because you were harbouring Hamas militants. Wasn't that the argument, the defence they gave to you after they attacked your house?
If I harboured Hamas militants, how do they know? How do they know? If they know that, they should kill them.
But this is what they said to you, wasn't it? Wasn't this?
No, they said many stories, many falsified lies. Not to me. They say to themselves, first of all.
Justifying why they attacked your house.
To justify for themselves, not to justify for me, because, as I said, for nothing they did, and there was no reason to be killed. That's the bottom line.
But they had to provide some sort of an excuse from a public relations point of view.
They must, instead of finding an excuse, they must find the moral courage, the responsibility of speaking loudly about the truth.
But
the truth, what do I say to you? It's not what the truth, what do they want? The truth is clear like the sun, as I said. The truth is those girls, they were killed for nothing they did. They were armed with education, with love, with hope, and care about others. And there was no reason to be killed. And it's important for everyone to understand and to use his mind, not to be deceived anymore.
But that's what the Israelis, that's the line they were putting out, wasn't it? In order to defend what they had done. They were saying that the reason they were doing it, they made up this story that you were harbouring Hamas militants.
If I harbored Hamas militants, that's what did they say? In the room of my daughters, they saw militants. And they shelled the room.
Did they say they saw militants in the room?
How do they say? They saw militants inside the house. So if they saw them and they shelled them, who was killed?
Yeah, where were the bodies of the Hamas militants? Yes.
The girls were killed. Those are the militants and the armed girls.
But
one day before, even that's important to understand and the people to know. When the first time they started to say it's not militant, there were snipers at the roof of the house. How many lies do you want to give to the story?
And why do you think they shelled your house? Was there any reason for it?
You can ask this question to them, not to me. As I said, from my side, there was no reason.
Do you have any suspicions as to why? Do you think it was a random attack, or did they know they were attacking?
It doesn't matter for me. What is important is my daughters. And they are killed. And they will never come back. Those are questions to ask those who did it. And to be honest with themselves. And if they were honest with themselves, with courage, I will accept what do they say. Without lies. But as I said, they can't be the perpetrator, the investigator, and the judge. They killed, they investigated, and they judged it. Where is the justice in this world that the same person to kill, to investigate, and to judge? Tell me, where is it? Where can this happen?
Have they at any stage apologized to you for what they did, or given you an alternative explanation?
They didn't apologize. And instead of apologizing and taking responsibility, for 2 years I asked for that. And I am waiting. And I will continue waiting for that with every mean, with every way, till I have it. But for 2 years, and after 2 years, when they sent a letter, the legal advisor of the Ministry of Defense, to my lawyer, that those girls were collateral damage of the war.
This is what they said to you?
Yes.
The girls were collateral damage of the war?
Yes.
And how did you feel when you read that?
I will never accept it. And I will do my part towards my daughters and towards others, and hope everyone to take responsibility. And that's why I filed a lawsuit. That's the maximum I can do. But what about others who are watching without feeling moved to do something?
Because you're saying the world generally isn't that concerned about getting the full justice for what happened to your daughters, or having an independent investigation.
It's not my daughters. It's everyone's daughters. Injustice, the world is endemic with injustice. And we must look around. What can we do to prevent this injustice?